So I want to tell you all about how to get your GED very fast. And it's a pretty good method, I think. My best advice right away is don't listen to the school system. Don't enroll the way they want you to enroll. I'm in the state of Florida, and when I wanted to get my GED, what I did was what everyone does. I went to the adult education office. I signed up. I gave them $30. I got enrolled in classes. I was TABE tested, which is where they see how well I score at, reading and writing and mathematics. They gave me my score and then they enrolled me in classes. Now they told me I had to do at least 50 hours of classes before I could be TABed, and I had to be TABed at a certain level before I could be put into what is called GED classes. Now, from there, you have to graduate those classes in order to get your GED. As I did this, I realized it was going to take me months and months, so I decided to double up on my classes so I could get through it faster. But then, as I started to do more and more research on the subject, I realized they signed me up for a website called myged.com. And you book your actual GED test through that website. And then what you have to do is go to a state-sponsored location, meaning a school, and take that portion of the test. Each portion of the test costs $32 a piece, and there's only 4 parts. You have to pay that no matter what. Whether you take the school route or just do it independently, you'll pay the same amount of money. However, I personally felt that the school system in the state of Florida made it appear as if I had to graduate their classes in order to get my GED. So I spent many months in those classes doing very wasteful things with my time, being in overcrowded classrooms, getting very little attention from my teachers, oftentimes not getting tested when I was supposed to be tested because they didn't have the time to do it, which prolonged my experience there. So I would recommend to you that you go to myged.com, start an account, and then take the tests that they have available there that cost $6 a piece and see where you grade in every subject. Reading, mathematics, science, and social studies. Those are the only 4 subjects you have to pass in order to get your GED. You can take them. That should cost you $24 to take those tests, those practice tests, and they'll tell you if you need to practice and study more or if you're likely to pass. Now, you can do this and never enroll into the school system. And when I did it, when I decided to drop out of those classes and just go to myged.com and sign up for them and take the test at the local school that I was going to, I went to a different floor of the school I had never been on. They didn't ask me for the amount of hours I'd put into the class. They didn't ask for my TABE scores. They just said, "Are you such and such?" And I said, "Yes." And that was that. After I went in, I took the test. Each test, I scored high. And there you go. That was that. So if you're going to go about it by taking the advice from the public school, they're going to tell you be in the public school, be in the classes twice a week, spend at least 50 hours before you can go and get your GED. However, you don't have to do that. You can possibly have your GED by the end of this week if you're smart enough and are willing to just pay the $32 4 times over and you can get it. Now you have to pay that price no matter what, regardless of whether or not you take all the class or not. So if you can get it done in a week rather than 5 months, which is what it took me because I didn't know any better, you should do it in a week. Because it's going to cost you the same amount of money, but it'll cost you less time, which is the most important thing. Now you might be wondering, well, why does it seem like, because I can't prove it, but why does it seem like the school system's deceiving some of us by saying, oh, you need to go and do all these classes? Well, I did a little bit of digging and I heard from a reliable source that there's a thing called student per capita where these schools get more money by having us be students. The most important thing when I went there was not getting tested. The most important thing was not getting an education. The most important thing was signing in. They were obsessive that you sign in. Because when you write your name down every day that you go in, and it shows that you're a student of this school, they get to report that to the government at the end of every year, and they get funding for having that many students. It's a way to increase the school's income. So I personally felt, though I can't prove it, and maybe I'm wrong, I personally felt that I was a little, I won't say lied to, but I feel like the facts were skewed or misrepresented, either intentionally or unintentionally, I don't know, to get me to enroll in classes that I didn't need to be in. This isn't a private institution, these are public schools. So my advice to you, if you want to get your GED quick, go to myged.com. That's where they have you log in, start an account, do the practice test. It'll cost you $24 to do all 4, but maybe you're great at math, so you don't need to even take that practice test. And then order the final test, and you can have your GED in about a week if you're smart enough. And if you're not, practice. Go to Khan Academy, study those subjects, and boom, there you go. That's my advice on how to get the GED. I would recommend avoiding the public school system altogether on the subject.